Well, after a brief delay, we're back on the air with Lenoir-Rhyne softball here, Game 2. Just to give you a quick recap, we're heading into the bottom of the first inning. A leadoff double by Ashlyn Kennedy of Pfieffer, and she was stranded on second. Michaela Watts on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne, a freshman in her first action as a Bear. After giving up the leadoff double, got the next 3 batters on the strikeout and 2 flyouts to left field. So the score stands 0-0 going into the bottom of the first with Lenoir-Rhyne coming to bat. If you missed our first game or just want to recap, the Bears got off to a little bit of a rocky start. The game was tied at 2. 3-run home run by Pfieffer put the Falcons up 5-2. Bears trailed 6-3 going into the 7th inning, but got 5 straight hits to tie the score, and then got a walk-off single from Savannah Moorfield, who's getting ready to step into the batter's box now for the Bears, and ended up winning really an exciting game 7-6. Lots of hits, quite a few walks and hit batsmen too, so a little bit of rust for both teams there in that first game. So Savannah Moorfield coming to the plate here for Lenoir-Rhyne as they've started off the season with a win, sit at 1-0, Pfieffer at 0-1. It was their season opener as well, and Bears look to maybe take control of this game maybe a little bit better than they did in the first half. Saw some jitters and some rusty pitching on both sides. You know, if you think about it, none of these young ladies have played since the first part of March of last year. So long stretch of time not in competition, and we saw some of that in the first game. But as it turns out, at the end of the day, it was a thrilling win for the Bears, 7-6. If you've followed Lenoir-Rhyne softball for any period of time, at least in recent years, you'll recognize our first 3 hitters: Savannah Moorfield, Kylie Linhart, and Talon LeClaire, all hitting well over 400 last year. Savannah Moorfield 484 last season. Of course, had the game-winning single in the first game here today, and was 2 for 4 with a walk and a run scored, and of course that game-winning RBI in the bottom of the 7th in Game 1. Sun came out and the skies have cleared up. It's a little bit chilly out today. Of course, you might expect that in February. The wind picking up here and there. Flags blowing in or towards right from the outfield. And Savannah Moorfield, 2-0 count on Savannah. It's early, 0-0, bottom of the first. So, head coach Monty Sherrill of the Pfieffer Falcons goes to the mound. Looks like he's discussing something with the referees. There was a little bit of uncertainty in that first game when Mariana Clement was on the mound for the Bears, and I don't know if she was stepping out of the circle multiple times or what she was doing, but there was one point in a count late in the game where the Pfieffer batter was awarded 2 balls, and Mariana had only thrown 1 pitch, but the count was 3-0. So there was some sort of penalty. I'll have to brush up on the rules. I'm going to admit to those of you listening that I have not done a softball game on the radio in a long, long time, and so I'm going to need to brush up on a couple of things. But we're glad you're listening today and hope that you'll follow our sports here at Lenoir-Rhyne throughout the season. Of course, softball today, and tentatively we'll have another doubleheader tomorrow against Flagler College. That is not on the schedule, but Flagler had come north to play weekend series against Queens and Newberry, and I'm not sure in which order, and I'm not sure which team, but one of those doubleheaders fell through, and I think Coach Holler just trying to help out Flagler on one end, and also, get our young ladies some more games, as trying to work out Flagler coming here to Hickory and playing a doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have more details on that, hopefully, later. Of course, the first 4 games for Lenoir-Rhyne were rained out or weathered out, and this doubleheader against Pfieffer was actually supposed to be played yesterday. And of course, as you know, if you're around here or in much of the country, weather yesterday was not cooperative for outdoor sports. So we're finally playing today, and again, game one, a thrilling victory for Lenoir-Rhyne. They looked like they were really down to their last breath, and they were down to their final bottom half of the inning, down 3, and come back and win that game 7-6. So we hope they can replicate that, maybe in a little bit easier fashion here in game 2. Savannah Moorfield beats out an infield single, as she does so many times. Great base runner, good speed, just a great leadoff hitter. As I mentioned, .484 batting average last year. Led the team in runs scored with 30. Batting second here is Kylie Linhart. She played second base and was a catcher much of the season last year, kind of our regular catcher, but played second base in the first game. I believe she will also be at second here at this game, and a freshman starter behind the plate, Garley Hildebrand, in game 1 for the Bears, and had her first career hit and first career home run for the Bears in that game. Count 1-1 to Linhart. Savannah Moorfield on first base, no outs. We're just in the bottom of the first here at Bear Field. Coach Sheena Holler down coaching third. Of course, one of the winningest coaches, not only in the South Atlantic Conference, but certainly the winningest coach in Lenoir-Rhyne history, and one of the winningest coaches in Division II active victories. I believe she's 11th in Division II with well over 800 wins. Spent a couple of years at Newberry before coming to Lenoir-Rhyne, but the vast majority of her wins have been here, and certainly Lenoir-Rhyne University's benefited from her talents and skills as a coach and a recruiter, and just a part of our community. Really brings a lot of pride to the university. So Lenoir-Rhyne lucky to have Sheena Holler. Interestingly, the coach in the opposite dugout, Monty Sherrill, if you're local to Lenoir-Rhyne area, you certainly would recognize that game. One of the more storied coaches in North Carolina high school history, and has gone on to Pfieffer, his alma mater, and done very, very well in the transition to college softball. And certainly, I think if we're on the field now, our two coaches with probably well over 1,600 wins in their career, and I would hazard a guess that you couldn't match up two other softball coaches in the state of North Carolina that may be able to rival that. One out now. Moorfield moves to second base. Talon LeClaire at the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. Hit .474 last year. And, it's kind of a stunning stat. She hit .474, and she didn't even leave the team in scoring. Nice hit by Talon LeClaire. Goes to the left field corner. Moorfield's going to score easily from second base, and Talon LeClaire has a stand-up double for the Bears. And the Bears strike first here in the bottom of the first inning with a run score, RBI double by Talon LeClaire. Peyton Bryant, freshman, was the designated player to start the game in game 1, then came on to pitch some at the end of the game. She also had her first couple of hits at Lenoir-Rhyne, 2 doubles in the first game, and scored a run. Hits into a grounder. The pitcher here, boy, you don't see too many base running mistakes from these Lenoir-Rhyne seniors, but that was a little bit of a pickle rundown as Talon LeClaire gets caught off second on the fielder's choice from Peyton Bryant. So Bryant is at first, but LeClaire is tagged out trying to get back to second base, and the Bears suddenly now with 2 outs and a runner on first. Hannah Jennings at the plate for the Bears. Jennings in the first game had a single in the 7th, ended up scoring a run in that rally to get the Bears their first win of the season in their season opener, and also walked in the first inning of the last game. Comebacker to the pitcher. This is going to be a step and throw. Wow, the first baseman dropped the softball. That looked like that was going to be an easy pitcher to first base, 1-3 out, and the first baseman dropped the ball. So a little bit of a break there for Lenoir-Rhyne as Peyton Bryant moves to second base. Hannah Jennings gets off on an E3, we're going to say there. And Kendall Osborne at the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. Osborne was 2 of 4 in the first game. had a double and a single and scored a run in that 7th inning that got the Bears a victory. 1-1 count on Kendall, 2 outs. Bears lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Kendall Warren on the mound for Pfieffer. I failed to mention that. She actually started at shortstop for the Falcons in Game 1 and is starting in the circle here in Game 2. Second strike for Osborne. Counts 2-2, 2 outs. Bears lead 1-0, bottom of the first. Osborne fouls one off. So, battling here early. Bears have 2 runners on. Peyton Bryant at second. Hannah Jennings at first, following the error by the first baseman. Another foul off by Kendall Osborne. Bears are getting their cuts in. They out-hit Pfieffer last game. I believe had 13 hits in the first game, and just, until the very end, they couldn't seem to get things, to fall in place in a sequence where they could get some runs. But the exciting 7th inning gets them the victory in Game 1. Another foul ball. Full count for Kendall Osborne. Jeremy Zalaka on the air with me in the first game, and we were joking. We said full count a lot in the first game, so we're hoping maybe it's not going to be as many times. If you're just joining us and wondering why we're in the first inning at around 5:30 when the game was scheduled to start at 4, it was a long game. There were a lot of hits, there were a lot of walks, obviously a lot of full counts, and so the game took a long time. So with the sun going down and it being a little chilly out here, maybe this one will be a little bit quicker. Bases loaded now for Lenoir-Rhyne. Osborne draws a walk. Peyton Bryant at third, Hannah Jennings at second, and Kendall Osborne at first. Leanna Sherrill at the plate for the Bears. And quickly in the hole now, 0-2. As the Bears already 1 run across on the double from Talon LeClaire, scoring Savannah Moorfield, and looking to add some more runs here. Foul ball. Bears were really, really good early. Did a good job last year of getting their opponents down quickly. Outscored their opponents 46-9 in the first inning last year, and I believe 112-19 over the course of the first 3 innings of the game. So typically, based on last year, a fast starting team at the plate, put their opponents in the hole and put some pressure on them to try to fight back. Counts 1-2 to Leanna Sherrill. Bases loaded for the Bears. And a called strike 3 for Leanna Sherrill. I don't think she was too pleased with that call, but nonetheless, Bears do leave the bases loaded. However, score a run here in the bottom of the first to take a lead over Pfieffer, 1-0.
Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Now to bat number 15, Katie
And we're back here at Bearfield for Lenoir-Rhyne softball, game 2 of this doubleheader. Bears against Pfieffer. Bears take an early lead, 1-0 off a RBI double from Talon LeClaire, and Michaela Watts on the mound. We got on the air a little bit after the start of the game. Didn't get to mention Michaela much. She's a freshman out here locally out of Lincolnton, North Lincoln High School, so she's making her first appearance as Lenoir-Rhyne Bear. Had a good first inning. Did give up a leadoff double, but took down the next 3, including a strikeout, and has gotten off to a good start. Good day for some Lenoir-Rhyne freshmen so far. Watts in her first action. In the first game, Peyton Bryant, both at the plate and on the mound, had a good day. 2 doubles and a run scored. Garley Hildebrand, the starting catcher, her first hit as a Lenoir-Rhyne Bear. That was a solo home run that kept the Bears in it at a time where they weren't playing quite as well. So we mentioned the seniors, Kylie Leonhardt, Savannah Moorfield, Talon LeClaire, but 4 freshmen now, if we're including Michaela Watts, making good contributions today for Lenoir-Rhyne. Pitcher and catcher wanted that pitch a little bit outside. And we have a 1-2 count on Katie Michaels. And Michaels with a single to left field, and for the second inning in a row, Pfieffer has the leadoff runner on base as Hannah Tyner comes to the plate.
Now it's bat number 13, Hannah Tyner.
Tyner did not see action in game 1, so this is her first action of the year, in addition to it being Lenoir-Rhyne's opening doubleheader. It's also Pfeiffer's opening games. Tyner flies to right. You're going to have to bear with me because where I'm positioned on the field, anything much past first base towards the right field corner, I cannot see. So I have to judge based on player reactions and that sort of thing, kind of what happens. And that was a fly out to right field for Hannah Tyner. So Watts gets the second batter. 1 out. Bears lead 1-0 here in the top of the second. Kendra Mays at the plate for the Falcons. Played a couple of different outfield positions in the first game. One and 1 count. Mays reached base twice in the first game on a hit by pitch and an error, and played left and center field, I believe. They made a couple of pitching changes with players in the field, so there were a couple of different times in the first game where the Pfeiffer players were moving around like chess pieces. So a couple of them played some different positions. 1-2 count now on Mays. Watts, her first career start for Lenoir-Rhyne, and gets a strikeout. And is that a double play? A double strikeout throwout. What a nice sequence for Lenoir-Rhyne as they turn a double play on the strikeout of Kendra Mays, and then Garley Hildebrand throwing out Katie Michaels there at second base for the kind of unorthodox double play. But the Bears, the leadoff single does not hurt them, and they go into the bottom of the second with a 1-run lead. Bears 1, Pfeiffer 0.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
And we're back at Bearfield, Lenoir-Rhyne softball, game 2 of a doubleheader, Bears against Pfieffer. Bears winning the first game 7-6 with an exciting bottom of the 7th, scoring 4 runs after coming into the bottom of the 7th, trailing 6-3, and scoring 4 runs to take that victory in the season opener. Now here leading 1-0 in the bottom of the second in game 2. Pfieffer has changed pitchers. Looks like Katie Michaels is in the game now in the circle. So we'll try to get that lineup sorted out. Much like I was mentioning in the previous inning, they did some shuffling in the field in the first game and used position players as to come into pitch and that sort of thing. So a lot of the players remain in the game, but position shifted as the game went along, depending on what pitching moves they made. Kaylee Travis leads off for Lenoir-Rhyne, hit a home run in the first game and tied the game at the time 2-2. So she had her first home run of her career, I believe Jeremy Zalaka shared with me, back in the first game. Got a single and an RBI in the 7th inning to help the Bears draw close before a game-winning hit, walk-off single by Savannah Moorfield gets the Bears a win. Counts 1-1 on Travis. Caitlin Michaels on the mound for Pfieffer. 1-2 now. Both teams with 2 hits. Pfieffer with an error. Easy play, pitcher to first base, and the first baseman just dropped the ball back in the first inning. It is going to be trouble. You may have heard one of the fans for Lenoir-Rhyne say that's trouble, and kind of a looping little short fly ball to right field, and it drops between the second baseman and the right fielder. So Kaylee Travis here starts off the second inning, bottom of the second with a single. And Graylee Hildebrand comes to the plate. Excuse me, Garley, I had written down Garley, and the PA announcer said Grayley, so I thought I was right. Garley Hildebrand, her first hit as a Lenoir-Rhyne Bear back in game 1 was a solo home run. So she has started behind the plate here for Lenoir-Rhyne both games. Tries to bunt to move Travis over to second. Didn't quite get that down the way she wanted. Count moves to 1-1. Bears lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. And have a runner on first. Like a pitch out, really. Pitch out for Pfieffer, and the catcher threw the ball into short right. Didn't really give Kaylee Travis an opportunity to advance, but a little awkward play it looked like for the Falcons there. Counts 2-1 now. Garley Hildebrand at the plate. And she bunts successfully this time. Let's see, she does move the runner over. She's out at first, but nobody's covering third base for Pfieffer. Boy, that's a mistake in the field for Pfieffer. You don't see that too often from a Monty Sherrill coach team. In covering different areas and trying to field the bunt. Good heads-up play by Kaylee Travis. The bunt easily got her to second base, but she noticed quickly that there was nobody covering third for Pfieffer, so she just went ahead and advanced, and that was an excellent base running move by Travis. She's now in scoring position at third base with only one out, and the top of the order coming up for Lenoir-Rhyne, Savannah Moorfield. Had an infield single in the first, ended up scoring the Bears' run on a double by Tal Leclerc 2 batters later. Moorfield takes a ball, Bears 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second, and threatening again with a runner on third and only one person out. Moorfield fouls off to left field, over the left field fence. Well, down the left field line. The lights have come on here at Bear Field. Busy day at Lenoir-Rhyne. It's going to be really a busy semester if you follow Lenoir-Rhyne sports. I worked in athletics here for a long time, but never did we have to play an entire year's season of sports in one semester. Of course, basketball will wrap up soon and swimming, but all of our other sports are competing here in the spring semester. So a lot of personnel pressure on the Lenoir-Rhyne Athletic Department to cover a lot of games in the coming days. In fact, tomorrow, I believe there's a doubleheader lacrosse, doubleheader baseball, and now the doubleheader, softball doubleheader against Flagler. Counts 2-1 on Moorfield. Runner on third. Bears threaten again. Correction, make that 2-2. Ball low, full count on Moorfield. Kylie Travis at third on a good, smart base running decision that she made, rounding second after the sacrifice bunt by Garley Hildebrand, and took third, and nobody from Pfieffer was covering the bag. And Moorfield walks on base again, and of course she's a dangerous runner and very fast. She scored easily on the double from Talon LeClaire in the first inning. Kylie Lenhart caught most of the year last year, started at second base both games in this doubleheader, and of course led the team in home runs last year with 10. I believe was second in Division II at the time that the seasons were shut down. 10 home runs led Lenoir-Rhyne, and also 27 RBIs. Batted .424 last year. Takes a ball here, and Savannah Moorfield, easy steal of second base. So now, with only one out, two runners in scoring position, including the very fast Savannah Moorfield at second base. So I think a hit here by Lenhart has got a good chance to score 2 runs. 2-1 count now on Lenhart. Count certainly in her favor. She's a good, solid, strong hitter. Looks at a strike. 2-2. If you missed the first game, exciting win for Lenoir-Rhyne in the bottom of the 7th, coming back from a 6-3 deficit going into the bottom of the 7th to win 7-6. And if you're wondering why a 4 o'clock game, scheduled 4 o'clock game, the second game of this doubleheader, is just in the bottom of the 2nd. The first game took a long time. We actually, ironically, started the first game about 5 minutes early. But it didn't help on the clock. And lots of hits, lots of walks turned that game into a little longer than would have normally been planned. Lenhart strikes out now for the second time. Unusual for her. And so 2 outs now. Kaylee Travis on third, Savannah Moorfield on second after stolen base, and Talon LeClaire, who has driven in the only run of the game so far with a double in the first inning, stands in for Lenoir-Rhyne. Oh, a nice play by the pitcher and another drop ball for Pfeiffer's first baseman. That's the second time that's happened this game, and I just realized as I looked, the sun is setting, if you're familiar with Lenoir-Rhyne's field, the sun is setting off to left field, sort of behind the music building and the auditorium, and I think the sun is getting in her eyes on a couple of those plays. So tough sunspot, but helps Lenoir-Rhyne as the Bears now lead 3-0. So another E3 for Pfeiffer. Kind of hate giving her an error with the sun in her eyes like that, but the error, the drop ball by the first baseman, ends up scoring both Kaylee Travis from third and Savannah Moorfield. So the Bears, thanks to a couple of early plays by Talon LeClaire, Lead now 3-0. And there's another error for Pfieffer on the second baseman. Allows Talon LeClaire to score. And Peyton Bryant reaches second base after that mistake in the infield. And the Bears now lead 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. So Pfieffer played well in the first game, and errors have caught him here in game 2. 3 errors now just in inning and 2/3. Hannah Jennings at the plate now. She reached on an error by the first baseman in the first inning. Now has a chance to maybe drive in a run here with Peyton Bryant on second base. Counts 1-2. Scoreboard a little bit behind for Lenoir-Rhyne, and called third strike. So Hannah Jennings goes down on strikes, but not before the Bears score 3 runs here in the bottom of the second, thanks to a couple of errors for Pfieffer. Bears 1 hit, 1 walk, but again, 2 Pfieffer errors lead to 3 Lenoir-Rhyne runs, and the Bears lead 4-0 here going into the third inning.
Being busy in my garden, I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found the expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we're back at Bear Field, where Lenoir-Rhyne out to an early 4-0 lead over Pfieffer here in Game 2 of our doubleheader. Bears won the first game 7-6. Exciting bottom of the 7th for Lenoir-Rhyne to come back from a 3-run deficit and win that game, and looking to put some distance between themselves and the Falcons here in this one with a 4-run lead going into the top of the third. Bears 4 runs on 3 hits. Pfieffer no runs on 2 hits and 3 costly errors that have helped Lenoir-Rhyne expand their lead here to 4. Malia Prestwood at the plate for Pfieffer. As Michaela Watts, freshman from Lincoln and North Lincoln High School, works her 3rd inning in her first appearance as Lenoir-Rhyne Bear. Some nice production and play out of some freshmen here today, so you can't speculate too much, but you get good play out of your seniors, and then you have 4 freshmen contributing early on in the season, and you just kind of get that feeling that, Coach Sheena Holler just continues to kind of reload that roster.
Now to bat number 3, Paige Love.
Pop out by Malia Presswood, and Paige Love comes to the plate for Pfieffer. She had an interesting first game. The first 2 times the plate was hit by a pitch and then walked the next time she was up. So an interesting kind of sequence for her in her opening game for Pfieffer. It's her first time on the plate here in Game 2. One-0 count for Love, and she strikes the ball into left, but nice play in left field for Lenoir-Rhyne.
Now to bat number 22, Ashlyn Kennedy.
To get our second out. top of the order, Ashlyn Kennedy. She doubled her first time up, had a 2-run triple in game 1, and then another double later in the game. So she's a dangerous hitter. Also pitched a few innings for Pfieffer in game 1. Looks at the ball. 2 outs here. Counts 1-0 on Ashlyn Kennedy. Bears lead 4-0 here in the top of the 3rd. Nice pitch by Michaela Watts to even the count at 1. I think the catcher for Lenoir-Rhyne, Garly Hildebrand, wanted that pitch. I don't know if she said anything to the official, but she kind of looked back a little bit. 2-1 count now. Swing and a foul tip. Count goes to 2-2 on Ashlyn Kennedy. Again, dangerous hitter. Leadoff hitter. A couple of big hits in game 1. Led off the game here with a double. And we want to try to keep her off the base paths. 2 outs for the Bears as they try to get Ashlyn Kennedy to end the 3rd inning. Count goes full. Nice play at the plate to block the ball there by Garly Hildebrand. Kayla Watts looks to the dugout, gets a pitch call, and comes to the plate. And there's a solid hit up the middle for Ashlyn Kennedy. She just keeps on hitting. I think that's her 4th hit of the day between the 2 doubleheaders. So Kennedy now first base. Alexis Walter comes to the plate for Pfieffer. Walter did not play in game 1. And struck out her first time at the plate here in game 2. Watts' first pitch is a ball. Walter steps out of the batter's box, steps back in, and Watts is ready to come to the plate. Nice pitch by Michaela Watts, freshman out of North Lincoln High School. She evens the count at 1 apiece. And trying to end this inning scoreless for Pfieffer. Watts gets another fly ball. It's out to left, and a nice easy catch for Lenoir-Rhyne as they retire Pfieffer again here in the 3rd inning. Bears lead 4-0. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd.
Great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And we're back here at Bear Field on campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Lenoir-Rhyne softball, season opening doubleheader here against Pfieffer. Bears win game 1, 7-6, and lead this one early, 4-0, thanks to a couple of key hits and a couple of errors on Pfeiffer's first baseman. I think related to sun. The sun looks like it's down. If you're familiar with Lenoir-Rhyne's campus, sun setting over behind P.E. Monroe Auditorium and the music building. I think gave the first baseman some problems there in the first couple of innings. catching throws from third base. Looked like she maybe just had a sunrise. So that's gone down behind the buildings now, so neither first baseman, I don't think, will have to deal with that. Leading off the Bears, Kendall Osborne here in the third. And a foul ball. A little bit of a late call. Osborne took out of the box, took out of the box towards first base. Call back. Hit the right field. It's in the spot that I can't see down the right field line, and it looks like a single for Kendall Osborne. She holds up at first base. As I mentioned earlier, if you were just joining us, the way I'm positioned, the one place on the field I can't really see is down the line between first base to the right field corner. So I sort of go by player reactions and that sort of thing to try to determine what happened. So a good single to lead off the inning for Kendall Osborne. Leanna Sherrill up. Struck out her first time looking. A solid hit to third, but gets safe on the fielder's choice. Osborne is out at second base. So nice play by the third baseman for Pfieffer. Leanna Sherrill reaches on a fielder's choice. Kendall Osborne out at second on a 5-4 fielder's choice. Kaylee Travis comes to the plate. She's had a nice day. Hit her first career home run in game one. Had another single and then had a single and scored a run here in the second inning for Lenoir-Rhyne. So nice day for Kaylee Travis so far. She takes a ball here on the first pitch. Steps back in the box. Pitch a little bit outside. Katie Michaels on the mound for Pfieffer. Falls behind 2-0 as Travis looks down to Coach Holler for signals and steps back in the box. Oh, and Travis bunts. That's going to be a tough play. She's going to be safe at first base. Nice play. Nice bunt by Kaylee Travis. She's having a nice day today. At the plate and in the field. So what looked like may have been I don't know if you want to call that a sacrifice. Looks like she might have been bunting to get on. But regardless, she's safe, stands at first base. Leanna Sherrill at second, and the Braves threaten again here with one out in the bottom of the third, leading 4-0. Bears now with 5 hits, 4 runs on 5 hits. Pfieffer, no runs on 3 hits, but 3 costly errors in the first couple innings that really helped Lenoir-Rhyne push that lead out to 4 runs. Garley Hildebrand had a home run in the first game, her first hit as a Lenoir-Rhyne Bear, and it was a big one. Takes a ball on the first pitch from Michaels. Sacrificing her first at bat. Got Kaylee Travis to second base, and in that sequence, nobody was really covering third for Pfieffer, and Travis was able to come all the way around to third. Two balls and a strike to Hildebrand, freshman catcher for Lenoir-Rhyne. Runners on first and second. Lenoir-Rhyne threatening again here in the bottom of the third. Nice cut at that one, but just got a little tip of the ball. So count goes to 3-2 for Hildebrand. Sun's starting to set. Lights are on here at Bear Field. We're going to finish our first doubleheader of the year under the lights. Pop up, a little confusion for Pfieffer. Second baseman makes the play, and the runners hold. 2 outs now for the Bears, and Savannah Moorfield coming to the plate. She singled and walked. She scored 2 of Lenoir-Rhyne's 4 runs after having a hit and a walk, 2 hits and a walk in run in game one. Of course, one of those hits was a walk-off single as the Bears came back from a 3-run deficit in the bottom of the 7th to win 7-6. Exciting first game. A little bit long, but exciting. A lot of hits, a lot of walks. Moorfield's at the plate. Down a strike. Bears with runners on first and second. Nice pitch by Katie Michaels. I don't think Moorfield was prepared for that one. Just really pulled the string and almost looked like a slow pitch coming across the plate. But Moorfield in an 0-2 hole, kind of unusual for her. Just low, I guess. Count goes to 1-2. Led the Bears in hitting last year at 484. Led the team in run score with 30. So she's worked count even now, 2-2, after falling in an 0-2 hole early. Really seasoned player, good spark plug for the Bears. Runs the bases really, really well, is really fast, plays a good center field, and is just, so important to this lineup offensively and defensively. Bears blessed with some really good senior producers and leaders. Talon LeClaire, Kaylee Linhart, and Savannah Moorfield. And as I've mentioned earlier, some freshmen contributing early in this doubleheader and making some good contributions. Ground ball looks like it's going to be a foul. It's right down the line. And called foul. Moorfield steps back in the box. 2-2 count. Leanna Sherrill on second base. Kaylee Travis on first for the Bears. Boy, that was close. That's a good plate discipline there by Savannah Moorfield. After being down 0-2, is now run the count full. 3-2. And here's the pitch. And a single up the middle. What a nice at-bat for one of your star. No, oh, that's going to bring somebody out of the dugout because the umpire behind the plate said out and then said safe, and that causes angst among coaches. But a nice hit by Savannah Moorfield, hit in an RBI, and good base running by Leanna Sherrill to get around from second. The hit wasn't deep into the field. Of course, if you're watching on your computer or electronic device, you know that. But good heads-up base running by Leanna Sherrill, and what a great plate. What a great job at the plate and that at-bat for Savannah Moorfield. Down 0-2, works a count full, and gets a single up the middle to score another run for Lenoir-Rhyne. Bears lead now 5-0 here in the bottom of the third. Not the same Pfieffer team, it looks like. Not the same Pfieffer team we watched in game one. They've made some mental mistakes a couple of times, had a couple of errors in the field that have cost them a couple of runs, and Bears now lead 5-0. And are looking for more with a shot to right field. Caught, though. I believe that's a spot where I can't see. Yes. Teams are changing positions. Pfeiffer's running in, and we're going out. So fly ball to right for Kylie Linhart ends the inning. However, one more run for the Bears on an RBI single by Savannah Moorfield. And the Bears lead going into the top of the fourth, 5-0.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? it's will you.
And we're back at Bear Field. Kayla Watts in her first action as a Lenoir-Rhyne Bear, starting her 4th inning. Great job so far. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. So nice job in her first work as a Lenoir-Rhyne Bear, and gets the strike there on the first pitch here in the top of the 4th. Mackenzie Pennell at the plate. Big home run in the first game for Mackenzie. A 3-run shot that gave Pfieffer a 5-2 lead, and they stretch out to 6-3 going into the bottom of the 7th. And as I've mentioned earlier a couple of times, just an exciting bottom of the 7th for the Bears. 5 straight hits, and then a walk-off single by Savannah Moorfield wins the Bears the game. 7-6 final. Bears up now here 5-0. We're in the top of the 4th. Kayla Watts pitching a good ball game here as a freshman in her first outing for Lenoir-Rhyne. Counts 1-2. Watts comes to the plate. And the solid hit to center, and can't quite make the play in center field. So it's a stand-up double for Mackenzie Pennell here to lead off the 4th inning. So interestingly, as well as Michaela Watts has pitched, the leadoff runner has reached on a hit in all 4 innings. And then she's proceeded to get 3 outs and move on to the next inning. So we'll see how Michaela responds here after giving up a leadoff double. Reese Davis, if that name sounds familiar, we kind of caught our eye when we looked at the lineup roster earlier before the game 1 started. And Reese Davis, if you recognize that name, is a prominent ESPN on-air personality. This is not that Reese Davis, but the starting first baseman had a good game 1. Walked a couple of times, had a single. Flied out to left field here to start in the first inning of this one. She's got a 2-1 count at the plate against Michaela Watts. Pfeiffer with a runner on second, trailing 5-0. Bears some big hits and taking advantage of some errors. Nice play by Watts in the circle to get Davis at first base. So nice play by Watts. She goes to first. Pennell advances to third on the throw. So Pfeiffer now with 1 out. But a runner in scoring position at third base, Mackenzie Pennell. Katie Michaels currently pitching for Pfeiffer, stands in. And a nice first pitch strike from Michaela Watts. Watts comes to the plate. 0-2. Fouled off by Michaels, so count in Watts' favor at 0-2. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Runner at third for Pfeiffer. But 0-2 count for Michaela Watts here as she tries to get Michaels for the second out. A little bit low and outside. Watts, I think, wanted to see if she'd chase that. Pretty good plate discipline for Michaels. Run's kind of pretty important here for Pfeiffer. Already down 5-0. They got an opportunity to at least get on the scoreboard here in the top of the 4th. Good stop there by Hildebrand, as now Michaels has run the count full 3-2. Correction, 2-2. My mistake. Little shoe maintenance for the Lenoir-Rhyne catcher, Garley Hildebrand. Trying to tie her shoes. And gives the official the okay that she's ready to go. 2-2 count for Katie Michaels. And a swing and a miss. Ball goes in the dirt, so they have to make the play at first base. Nice play by Lenoir-Rhyne. There was a little bit of hesitation at the plate, but with the ball in the dirt, they had to throw the runner out at first. And with the runner at third, you had to be careful there. But good play at first base for Lenoir-Rhyne to get the ball back to the catcher and keep the runner at third. So now 2 outs. And Hannah Tyner at the plate for Pfieffer. Base runner at third. Good first pitch strike from Michaela Watts. Base runner at third. Juan trying to keep Pfieffer off the scoreboard. They lead here 5-0 in the top of the fourth. Swing and a miss. Quick 0-2 count on Tyner, and Kayla Watts has looked pretty good today for a freshman in her first start. Pitched very well, giving up a hit to the leadoff hitter of every inning, but being able to come back nicely each time so far, and none of those hits have cost her on the scoreboard. LR fan base wanted that call, but it was a ball. 1-2 count now to Hannah Tyner. Bears lead 5-0. Hannah swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Watts, and she gets out of another inning. Gives up a leadoff double to Mackenzie Pennell. Pennell ends up on third base, but nice job by Michaela Watts to once again, after giving up a leadoff hit, get the next 3 batters and keep Pfeiffer off the scoreboard. Lenoir-Rhyne leads here, going in the bottom of the fourth, 5-0.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
And we're back at Bearfield. Lenoir-Rhyne leading here 5-0. Bottom of the fourth in game 2. Talon LeClaire will lead off for the Bears. She's been in the thick of the scoring for the Bears. RBI double in the first. Reached on an error in the second and ended up scoring. Talon LeClaire takes a ball here on the first pitch. Bears up 5-0. Won the opener 7-6. So looking to sweep this doubleheader against Pfeiffer. Nice cut, but fouls off to the left. Count goes to 1-1. Claire led the team in doubles last year with 7 in the shortened season. I think the last game was played on March the 11th. Also second on the team in home runs with 7 and RBIs with 23. Pitch is low. 2-1 now for LeClaire here in the bottom of the fourth. Katie Michaels on the mound for Pfeiffer. Pitch a little bit inside there. 3-1 count. Nice count for LeClaire. And if you've followed us the last few years, she will swing the bat and she can hit. So it's a nice count for her to maybe get something started here in the fourth for Lenoir-Rhyne. Gets the ball to second base. Nice play by the second baseman to get in the dirt and catch that ball and throw out Talon LeClaire for the first out here in the bottom of the fourth. Peyton Bryant at the plate, freshman. Did a little bit of everything in game one, pitched, had a couple of doubles, and hits it hard. A third baseman bounces off the glove, but they get Peyton at first for the second out. So Pfieffer has an opportunity to get the Bears 1, 2, 3, I think, for the first time today. And a first pitch strike. Katie Michaels to Hannah Jennings. Jennings reached on air in the first, struck out in the second. It's her third at bat. A little piece of that one, but foul tip. Count goes to 1 and 2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-2 count on Hannah Jennings as Pfieffer tries to get the Bears here 1, 2, 3 and maybe regain a little bit of momentum. As I mentioned earlier, the first game went long. There were a lot of hits. There were also a lot of walks, quite a few hit batsmen. So the rush certainly showing for some of these pitchers here as they play for the first time in almost a year. Jennings grounds to second base, a little bit of a bobble, and she's safe at second base. Another tough defensive play for Pfieffer. Ends up with Lenoir-Rhyne getting a base runner here with 2 outs, and Kendall Osborne coming to the plate. She singled her last time up, walked in the first inning.
Now to bat number 5, Kendall Osborne.
Osborne takes a ball. Hannah Jennings on first. Osborne trying to advance her and maybe get another run on the board for the Bears. They lead 5-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Wind's picking up. The outfield flags are pretty active. Looks like it's blowing in from my vantage point. And Osborne hits one back to the pitcher, who throws to first base to get the third out. So the Bears, first inning without scoring a run, but still hold a 5-0 lead as we head to the top of the fifth. Lenoir-Rhyne 5, Pfieffer 0.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Welcome back here to Bear Field. Lenoir-Rhyne softball, the opening games of the season, as they try to sweep a doubleheader from Pfieffer. Pfieffer, a long-time opponent of Lenoir-Rhyne back in the NAIA Carolinas Conference and early Division II days. Well, not just early, but until recently, Pfieffer, a Division II member, has dropped down to Division III, but is certainly their softball program is a good program. Of course, Monty Sherrill, their head coach, so you would expect that, but gave the Bears everything they could handle in Game 1, and really had a great opportunity to win that game until a good comeback by Lenoir-Rhyne there in the bottom of the seventh, but aren't playing quite as crisp here in the second game. Lenoir-Rhyne is taking advantage of some timely hitting and a handful of errors. 4 to be exact, from Pfieffer. Kenda Mays grounds out to third base for the first out for the Bears. Well, Pfeiffer's first out recorded by the Bears here in the top of the 5th. Story really, so far, errors by Pfeiffer and some really good, solid pitching by freshman Michaela Watts out of Lincoln and North Lincoln High School. 4 innings pitched, 4 1/3 now, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So she's done a great job here in her first action as a Bear. Got the leadoff runner here in the 5th, the first time she's gotten the leadoff runner today. Has not allowed any runs, but had allowed the leadoff hitter to get on base each of the first 4 innings. Gets a ground out to third here to start the top of the 5th, and facing Malia Presswood, she flied out to second base in the 3rd inning. 1-1 to count. Watts with the pitch. And gets a strike. So in the hole now, 1-2 is Presswood, as Watts looks to record another out in what's been a really good, solid pitching performance so far. Little nubber off the bat, and nice play. Nice play at third base for Lenoir-Rhyne. Leanna Sherrill. Looks like it came off the bat a little odd, but she made a good catch running towards the ball across the infield and records the second out. So 2 good plays by Leanna Sherrill at third to start the inning. Got Kendra Mays at first base on the ground out and made a nice catch there in the infield for out number 2. And Kayla Watts looks for her first 1-2-3 inning in her pitching career here at Lenoir-Rhyne. Paige Love comes to the plate for Pfeiffer. 2 outs, nobody on. Bears lead 5-0 here in the top of the 5th. Nice swing and a miss, or nice pitch for a swing and a miss by Watts. And she's been pretty impressive. Pull the string there, a little bit outside. Count goes to 1-1. Paige Love had an interesting start to her season at the plate for Pfeiffer. First 2 at-bats in game 1, she was hit by a pitch, and then the third time she walked, I think she scored runs on all 3 of those. So 3 runs with no plate appearances, 2 hit by pitches. It's kind of an interesting way to start the season. But she's down here 1-2 as Watts looks for a 1-2-3 inning, top of the 5th for Lenoir-Rhyne. A little bit outside. I wanted her to chase that one, not quite close enough for that. Count goes to 2-2. Bears 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Pfeiffer, no runs, 4 hits, and a big number there in the errors column with 4. Ground ball, and this could be a that could be a Leanna Sherrill inning as she records all 3 outs at third base, 2 on ground outs, and caught a fly ball in the infield. So first 1-2-3 inning for Michaela Watts in her pitching career, thanks to Leanna Sherrill and some good work in the field. Lenoir-Rhyne leads 5-0. We're going into the bottom of the 5th.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. if I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Back at Bear Field, second game of a doubleheader, Lenoir-Rhyne against Pfieffer. Bears lead here 5-0 after winning game one. So looking for the sweep against the Falcons here in the season openers. Bottom third of the order for Lenoir-Rhyne. And, you know, if you watch baseball on TV, they talk about this happening. Leanna Sherrill makes three good defensive plays, records all three outs in the top half of the inning. She's a leadoff hitter and goes to the fence with a solid hit in left center. Play up at the fence, she's easily going to get two, and she's going to hold up there. So great field work by Leanna Sherrill here in the top half of the fifth. And in the bottom half of the fifth, hits a leadoff double. We'll get the Bears in scoring position again. Bottom third of the order here for Lenoir-Rhyne, and they did some damage in game one. 5 hits, including a home run, 3 runs scored, a couple of RBIs out of the bottom third of the order here in game one, and bottom third's done their share here in game two. Kaylee Travis having a really nice game today at the plate and some good base running decisions. She has 2 for 2 here in game two. Singled, scored a run in the second. Singled in the third. And again, a couple of nice base running moves. Got to second on a single and realized nobody was covering third for Pfieffer and extended that into, down to third base. Ended up scoring a run for Lenoir-Rhyne. Counts 2-0. Travis has a chance to do some damage here with Leanna Sherrill at second base after a leadoff double. Bears looking to extend their lead. Lead 5-0 here in game two, bottom of the fifth inning. Pitch in on the outside. Going to strike. It's a 2-1 count. Scoreboard says 3-1. It is 3-1. Travis pops up to right to the spot of the field I can't see. It looks just from my angle like that would have been not easily caught. And it's not. Count goes to 3-2, and Travis trots back to the plate and to take another hack and try to extend Lenoir-Rhyne's lead. Leanna Sherrill on second base, leadoff double. Counts 3-2 here to Kaylee Travis. Pitch and nice hit up the middle. I don't know if that'll score a run. They're going to hold, the coach holler's holding up Sherrill at third. And a nice hit by Kaylee Travis. She's 3 for 3 here in game two. So the Bears threatening again. Coach Holler talking to the umpire here behind the plate. I don't know if she's making a lineup move or what exactly. Anna Bloom is entering the game for Lenoir-Rhyne, so Bloom will hit for Hildebrand here in the bottom of the fifth. And a sophomore out of South Rowan High School, Landis, North Carolina. Did not see action in game one, so this is her first at-bat of the season. Takes a ball here on the first pitch. Lenoir-Rhyne threatening. They're up 5-0. Runners on first and third with nobody out. Anna Bloom at the plate. That would have been a tough pitch to take, but good plate discipline there as the count goes to 2-1. Pitch, swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-2. Bears threatening here in the bottom of the fifth. Runners on first and third. Anna Bloom at the plate. Counts 2-2. And a swing and a miss. So Bloom goes down swinging for the first out of the inning. And we go back to the top of the order. Savannah Moorfield. She's been on base 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. Scored 2 runs. Has an RBI. So doing what, just picking up on what she's done in her career here. And gets a run in on a fielder's choice. There's no way Pfieffer was going to turn a double play with Savannah Moorfield going down the first baseline, but they do get the force out at second base. So 2 outs here. Head coach Monty Sherrill of Pfieffer having a discussion with the officials. Not quite sure about what. There was a play at second base, a fielder's choice. Kaylee Travis was thrown out. Savannah Moorfield was safe at first, and Leanna Sherrill scored from third. So the Bears are now have a 6-0 lead with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Bears 6 runs on 8 hits, and looking for more here with Kylie Linhart at the plate. I was getting ready to say she's had a tough game too, and she lines one off the right center fence, so I didn't have to say anything. RBI double for Kaylee Linhart, and she's in the books here in game 2, and the Bears stretch their lead to 7-0. Nice hit by Kylie Linhart. She just stayed with the pitch and drove it to right center and drives in a run for the Bears as they extend their lead. Moorfield scores from first, as she's more than capable of doing and has done so in this game and in game 1 as well. Talon LeClaire comes to the plate. She had an RBI double in the first, scored a run in the second, and she hits the ball to the fence in right center field. Linhart scores easily from second, and LeClaire stand-up double, her second of the game, and second RBI. So the Bears now, well, I guess the 8-run rule in softball. Looks like the game is over on the Talon LeClaire RBI double, which gives Lenoir-Rhyne the 8-0 lead and a win here in game 2. So completely opposite games. Exciting finish coming back from a 3-run deficit in the bottom of the 7th in game 1 to win 7-6 and just go out and handle Pfieffer here in game 2. Pfieffer errors contributed to that, but some great plate appearances for the Bears. Give a shout out here to Kaylee Travis. She went 3 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Savannah Moorfield, couple of hits, couple of RBIs. Big RBI double by Kaylee Linhart, and Talon LeClaire with 2 RBI doubles, and the Braves walk this one off at 8-0 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. So thanks for joining us tonight. The Bears wrap up a first doubleheader of the season with a sweep over Pfieffer. Check the Lenoir-Rhyne Athletics website. Tentatively, the Bears will play Flagler tomorrow here. We don't know the times. That's a late add to Flagler had a couple of games canceled for tomorrow, and they had traveled north, so they're trying to work out to play us here tomorrow. So Bears start the season off 2-0, and great start, and hope you'll join us tomorrow if we play Flagler here at Bear Field. Thanks for joining us. Good night.